republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Roll call, please.
Trustee Blower is absent. Trustee McGurran. No, I think it's under the threshold.
And that's all administration has this evening.
I really don't have an update, but we do need to move all these chairs out of this room tonight, or do you want to not do it tonight?
I'll do it tomorrow.
Well, it's a lot. I mean, the more hands we have, the faster it'll go. I was just, if you have availability. Well, our biggest thing is getting the chairs. I think we could probably get the table.
I'm gonna have to disassemble
This stuff,
this
but
stuff
if we
too.
can get
So
this part of
I
the
have
room kind of cleared out.
Friday and Monday to.
So just probably we're gonna need some help. That's it.
Okay, expedited purpose. Move part-time police officer, Gamer. Time, police officer, motion for adoption. 25-097. Vote part-time Hank Palmer as the full-time officer effective August 24th. Any second? Second. Roll call. What's discussion? There are two of us here.
Trustee McGurran.
Yes.
Trustee Young.
Yes, ma'am. Discussion items. Limited home rule for the township government.
I brought that up and I was reading about it to try to figure out if that would be of benefit to us.
Yes and no.
Um,
Anything else?
Sorry.
I know, Fiscal Officer Smith has opinion on it, and I'm sure you do too, Dave. So, I don't know. Somebody tell me what I need to hear about it one way or another, just so I'm trying to learn about it to see if that's something we should do, even consider.
I think if we sit down with some townships that already have it, like Philadelphia,
Okay.
Even Green Township, Corrine, they all have it.
Mhm.
But they all have populations of 60,000 plus.
Right.
Where, I can see it for them, but we're still down around below 10,000. Although it's 2,500 for, you have to have at least that many. So we're well above that. Some of the benefits are good and some of them are not as good. It might be best to sit down with legal counsel for one that understands it more than we do. So they can tell us the ins and outs, pluses and minuses. as well as sitting down with a couple of trustees from someplace else, just to get a handle on what they have gone through in their growth period while they're in it. If we want to step our, into it and get our feet dirty or keep them clean, whatever the case may be, I think it'd be good if we could just contact some other trustees. Is Oxford Township by any chance home rule?
I don't believe so. But
Okay,
don't,
Westchester would be.
Westchester, Liberty,
Yeah.
Fairfield.
They're huge. I'd be looking for one that's maybe around our size or something that,
Yeah, it would have it.
Probably
It
would
might.
have to go out of the county to find.
Yeah.
because there was only 33 in the entire state.
It came out with good purpose, but for some reason, a lot of townships are not going towards it for a reason. When you consider what 1,500 in the state,
No, when we're talking about different things, Julie will say, but we're a statutory township. We're not limited home rule.
Correct. Some things don't apply to us
Yeah.
because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have as many tools in our toolbox. It would give us more tools in our toolbox, but the toolbox would become more expensive. But we'd have to weigh that. Is it worth it mostly with legal counsel, is it worth more of the expense?
Or was talking with, I don't know, the prosecutor's office or with Don Frick about whether or not having, say, somebody, a legal counsel on standby is good enough. Or if you actually have to have a law director. If you have to have a law director, then I'd say we're probably out.
Yes,
But-
I emailed initially Dawn Frick with those questions. I thought her point of view might be different than the prosecutors.
Yeah.
So, and I asked her to, bring to light some pros and cons that
Mhm.
we would not be aware of. And I indicated I emailed her twice and left a voicemail message.
So what are the pluses in your mind?
Again, there's just more opportunities. There's more tools in the toolbox. A lot of times when you're reading through the ORC regarding something, for example, there's some conflicting information in the ORC requiring my presence here at these meetings. The statute says I only am required to attend one per quarter or something like that. However, without limited home rule, I'm also required to take the minutes at every meeting. But if I'm only required to be, there's no provision for me to not be here. So there's some weirdness in the ORC that hasn't been synced. And I think it's probably because limited home rule has clarified the issue and the statute wasn't completely clarified. So there's just some odd things. Limited home rule in my mind would be an absolute must if we had our own zoning. If we had different incentives like JEDs and NCAs and we were offering tips and RIDs, then it would be I think it's more of an absolute. You almost need it to help control what's going on.
Is that why you think Westchester Township and maybe Fairfield Township have that?
I
Because
don't. I don't know. They've been for such a long time that it's just kind of the way it is.
In the 90s, I think Fairfield changed itself to a village so they couldn't get taken over by Hamilton. Because that they'd be another entity and not a township. They couldn't go after another town, village. Then once that stopped, then it became a township.
Right. There were some constitutional issues with them becoming the Village of Indian Springs, and they had to go back and undo it. So I don't know. I think Delhi was the first. I know Bob Bass was, I believe he was employed there when all of that happened. He might be a decent resource on it. I don't know. But
So
I
Kind
think
of set up.
Trustee Young has got the right idea that you're better served having some informal conversations with not only trustees, maybe the fiscal officer, the administrator, or the legal counsel. They all have different perspectives. They could tell you, the fiscal officer may say it's no skin off my nose. We do whatever we have to do, but do you think you have a little more latitude in some areas? Can I be specific to that? No.
Yeah, that's fine, somebody who's there in the beginning, who, these other townships, their trustees have turned over so much, they don't even know what it was like before. So it would not, it would, a good source of information growing into it.
An administrator maybe like Bruce Henry at Hanover. He's been around the block quite a few times with some different agencies. They are not home rule in Hanover. However, he might have some knowledge and experience with it. So
Well, then I would say we should, I don't want to say table it, but we should get some more information on that. To see. And I think, from what I read, it really has a lot to do with ability to grow, which isn't really what the preponderance of people want to do. I just wanted to look and see if it's something that we should give us any distinct advantages. Because there's things that we've brought up in the past in the last year or two where you've said, because we're not home rule, we can't do this or we can't do that. So that's what I'm trying to, that's the reason I wanted to look at it. Your fault.
it's all my fault.
All right, so we'll keep looking.
Blame it on you.
We'll keep looking.
I have
Right.
broad shoulders.
New residential solid waste recycling contract effective April 1st, 2026. Competitive bidding factor.
I can start. I wanted to, Energy Alliances, was talking about putting together a contract for us, for our trash removal. And I asked the question, why can't we just negotiate with Rumpke to do it? And then Administrator Kyle put a 110-page contract in front of me. And I said, are you serious? We're talking about trash removal. No, here's what we'll pay you, and here's what we'll negotiate the price, and here's what we charge, and it should be simple. But it was 110 pages now. God. Okay, here it is. Okay, here it is.
The Ohio Revised Code dictates it has to be done through that.
So what we came up with, what my concern was, is how much is this going to cost the township and the residents? And I was given a figure, and Administrator Kyle said, let's put the cost of that whoever wins the bid would charge back on the vendor, the winner of the contract.
Mhm.
And I thought, well, that's a great idea. So I think that's how we're going to approach it and still find the best monthly cost for the township residents without having to pay the cost to have them put this big old contract together, because we can't, I'm not a lawyer, can't put all that together. It'll take us forever. So that's, am I on?
It's the
on point
last
with
time
this?
we went through this, you weren't privy to it.
Yeah.
We really weren't all that involved because we were just included in the negotiation with the two larger entities, and
Mhm.
all this was done outside of us.
Mhm.
Now it's our turn at the table by ourselves. Either we do it on our own, hence the 110 page, or we contract with someone who knows what they're doing to do it. And there is no cost to
So
us.
what kind of a difference is there if we had the Rumpke do it, or if Rumpke came out and took care of everybody?
I
might
remember
stay with it.
paying in my old address before we had any kind of a negotiated contract. And when I got the mailing that said we're going to go into kind of, and I'll use the word consortium because that's the word that's in my head, and this is going to be your cost, it was considerably lower than what I was currently paying. Plus, I was going to get additional recycling services that I was paying out of pocket for, was all going to be included, and it was still less, considerably less.
Okay.
And I thought,
Per person, or?
per household.
Okay.
And I thought, well, this seems like a no-brainer to me. So I was like, yeah, I think this is a great idea.
We got people complain about the gas.
Right, and
electric.
you can opt out of that, and I understand people are mad about that, but again, like Administrator Kyle's explaining, it's so much easier for them to give us a better price point on a large group than have to have a whole bunch of people opt in. So the way it's put on the ballot and the way the Ohio Revised Code allows you to pursue it is it has to be for the masses, and you have to let, well, you don't have to, but you have to be able to let people to opt out. That's the right thing to do.
And that's for the electric and natural gas.
Correct. I don't want to confuse the issue with what we have. It's the same company. They're just offering us a different service. Because this is what they do.
Yeah. So
And they'll get paid by whoever wins the contract, whether it be Mean Green or Rumpke or.
Unfortunately, for the solid waste and recycling, it is not an opt-out.
So
I think there are
right.
minimal cases that you can not be included, and you either have to live on a farm or you have to have approval from your employer that you can dispose of your trash at your employer. But that has to be on letterhead, on your employer's letterhead. Because, as the fiscal officer stated, they're making their bids based on a total amount in the community, and if people start leaving, that negates how they factored.
So how much is this consulting people charging us?
They don't charge us. Whoever wins the contract pays the fee.
So how much would it be anyway?
I don't know.
$5,000.
Oh, okay. Oh,
So I'm not saying it wasn't worth it, but that, when I heard it was $5,000, I thought, well, why don't we just negotiate it with Rumpke? And then, again, I saw this and I said, okay, crap. And Mrs. Kyle's advice, she said, let's just put it back on the winner of the contract paying it.
Which will
And
still charge us.
so that's what we'll do.
well,
Or
but,
that's what I would suggest.
but I don't think, well, we've,
Because no one's gonna swallow that.
But they'll still compete for it.
right, they'll
You know.
still, they want the bigger. At the end of the day, that's worth it for them. And this is something they do all over. So this is not something that would be a unique situation for any of those waste companies. This is how they get whole townships and cities.
So in number 3 here on the contract, it says fees payable to consultant. Consultant's fees shall be paid by the vendor. So that's where we're at. Have you put that out, or do we need to vote on that, whether that's okay? Whether this,
Well, there was a vote during the last meeting, and
It basically didn't pass.
it didn't pass.
Okay.
Because only one trustee voted.
okay,
So, and another trustee, Trustee Blower, indicated he didn't have enough information to vote, so he abstained.
okay,
Technically, the vote should have been tabled if
Okay.
more information was requested. Trustee Young also abstained. So, at the time that enough information has been provided for all 3 trustees to vote again, then I will put it before you again.
Okay.
For a vote. So without Trustee Blower being present to ask if he needs any more additional information, I suppose I'll reach out to him one-on-one to see.
so do we need to do any more digging as far as you're concerned, Mr. Young, or
We don't,
are you satisfied with what's in here? Are we ready to vote next meeting, you think?
I would, yeah.
Okay, I'll be ready to
Because
vote.
again, we're voting on it, this should have, an awardment of the contract to somebody.
Okay, can we, when Mr. Blower gets back, can we provide this information to him so he can look at it and understand it? Maybe ask you questions, okay.
Ask me to read it all, we
So-
did.
Yeah. We sat here and read it together. You got to read it by yourself. Okay. All right. So we can be ready to go next meeting on that.
All right. Cell phone reimbursement policy.
When we hired the new fire chief, one of the issues that was requested was his ability to use his personal phone as a cell phone and the potential to reimburse him. And we've had some conversations about it. There were some suggestions. At the time, I didn't have anything from anyone. I didn't have any examples from anyone else. So before you, I have just given you a kind of a high overview of the personnel policy, where cell phones and personal devices come into play. And then I have some language that I would like to add that would allow the reimbursement. Um, it may not be pertinent for us to put it in the section that I highlighted. We might need to make a better determination of where it actually goes. But I'm trying to make the language broad enough that I don't put a dollar amount in, because what we're doing is we're basing it on our current billing from Verizon. I don't want to put Verizon in there because we may change vendors down the line. So I'm trying to write it broad enough, but to say, as part of the base plan, there's a line charge per month, and it is roughly $15.81 per month. We're not, it also, this policy goes on to say that this stipend is not intended to reimburse the employee for the entire cost of their cell phone. It's just to reimburse them for the portion that they use it.
Yeah.
And then it also gives the township trustees the ability to say yay or nay as to who gets the reimbursement. It requires that the employee sign an acknowledgement that they understand. They also need to understand that if they use their personal phone, how it opens them up potential for audit. I know that Chief Johns is aware fully of that, but he does not want to carry two cell phones, and I understand that. I will say I personally use my cell phone throughout the course of the day for multi-factor authentication with the IRS, Ohio Business Gateway, OPERS, Ohio Police and Fire. Everything I do, even logging onto my computer, if I get logged out, requires an authentication through. So I'm always doing it on my, and I'm thinking I would mind being reimbursed for the base charge on my phone because I'm using it and I'm not,
Sure.
because that's the world we live in. I'm always a little leery. What happens if something happens to my phone? How would I ever get into
You
this?
live with that once before, you'll be okay.
But everything I do business wise to pay bills, even logging on to First Financial, I have
I
to,
do everything on my phone.
I have to authenticate through my phone. So a lot of times it wants face recognition. So that's the world we live in. And we're probably, so I also did a workup because part of hiring Chief Johns was he would be reimbursed back to his start date. So I provided you what that would cost us to get us through the second quarter. I am proposing that it's a quarterly reimbursement. I mean, it's going to be a monthly charge, but reimbursed quarterly.
Keep the paperwork.
And the third quarter um, uh, will be payable in October. So we kind of have time to get this up and running if you are happy with the language and the verbiage. I did find another Liberty Township, not the one in Butler. I used them for, oh, I didn't provide that to you all, but I have it. I did find some cell phone policies and I was able um, I was able to basically steal the verbiage because I'd rather do that than create it on my own. Yeah, why recreate the wheel when you don't have to? So, cell phone reimbursement is not taxable by the IRS. It doesn't have to be put through as a fringe, so it's not part of payroll. It's just a payment outside of like an accounts payable. Yeah. So I also stated that it would be an electronic payment. That way I don't have to cut checks to people so they can lose them. I did quite a bit of digging and I was pretty happy with this type of verbiage, but it is open to edits. I sent it to Administrator Kyle to kind of review. I believe you didn't think that that was the appropriate section, but we could put it in a new section.
So what is a monthly phone bill?
It depends on the length of the newness of the phone. Is it like 35 for a new phone? And
A phone, the purchasing of a phone is less expensive if we commit to a 2-year contract through our plan. So for the first 2 years, the phone is $35 a month. After 2 years, it drops down to 15, but then there are some.
Cause I just went to Pure Talk, I was with Verizon since 2000. And I went to Pure Talk $35 a month and I got this exactly the same service. Big difference in cost.
Yeah, we do get a government rate. We get, I don't know if we get bulk rates. I'm not sure, but I mean, there are other vendors out there, but I didn't want to write this policy to specify $15
Right.
Verizon. It's just going to be whatever the current township, the base charge for the line charge for the base. Again, it's, if you upgrade your phone, that's great. We're still giving you the minimum base charge.
Mhm. Yeah.
We're not paying for the
No.
hardware.
No.
Okay.
Nope. I've seen policies that are as small as $10 a month and as large as $50 a month. To me, I think that is excessive.
So Lori, you said for the first 2 years, it was 35 a month.
And then,
And why is that?
That's paying back for the phone.
yeah, you have to pay for the phone.
Okay.
They say for free, but it's not free.
So that's what I'm getting at. I've had my phone for this particular one for 2 or 3 years. And I just paid for it when I got it. The monthly service, let's just say we throw out a number and say we have to, you know, in Julie's case, you know, you get reimbursed half because half the time you're using it for township, half the time it's personal.
Right.
But as far as the hardware goes,
That's on me.
well, it should be, but if we're paying 35 for the first 2 years and then 15 a month after the first 2 years, then it seems as though we're paying $20 a month for 2 years for the hardware.
If people choose to have the township provide them a phone?
Yeah.
Yes. I have 2 phones. I have a township phone and a personal.
Okay.
So the first 2 years, the township purchased the phone, it's township's property.
Right.
But so for the first 2 years, the monthly fee for my phone was $35. After 2 years, it dropped down to 15.
But that's a township phone.
It's township property.
Okay, so that's township property.
It
not
is
their
township property, correct.
Okay.
So as the fiscal officer said, if an employee wants to have their own phone, purchase their own phone, then they will get reimbursed just 15.
Okay.
But they also are going to have to acknowledge that they understand that the phone may
Right.
be,
Well,
yeah.
okay, gotcha.
So that's,
All right.
if you're comfortable with that, we can write up the amendment to the personnel, the appropriate portion of the personnel policy and have that at the first meeting in September as well.
Yes.
Thank you.
JP Mueller gas tax proposal.
Okay, I was contacted by a vendor rather persistently, and they said, we can help you get taxes back on gasoline tax that you're paying. And after talking to the different department heads, I called them back and said, you know, I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time, but we're tax exempt. And so they're like, well, that's true. However, if you would give me 15 minutes in a Zoom call, I could explain to you how you are paying. We are exempt from federal excise tax. We are not.
State.
We are not exempt from the gas excise tax for the state of Ohio. However, we do get a portion of that back monthly through local government fund distribution. Well, the manner in which it comes through is the same. It's given to us by the auditor's office, and we get a monthly gas excise and there's another mileage reimbursement from the state of Ohio. So we do get a portion of that back. However, every time we drive one of our vehicles to a gas station to get gas, we are paying that state excise tax. And this company has a method, and we could do it on our own, but again, knowing how to do it, why to do it, and what to do.
It's like 33 cents a gallon, isn't it?
It's, I don't know. So what I have is, I have an agreement with this JP Mueller company to enter into the first phase of that, basically giving them permission to look at all our gasoline. And this is a rolling year. So they would look from August of 24 to August of 25. They would make an assessment based on all our uses. There were also some other, do we use colored diesel, clear diesel? Some things apply, some things don't. This would apply to fire trucks, plow trucks, salt spreaders, gators, UTVs, backhoes, pumper trucks, some of the landscaping equipment, unless it's using a colored diesel, then that, and that I checked with Paul and that is so. But basically our big equipment, and it's not for the time that they're on the road, because they're on the road, they're tearing up the road, they need to pay the tax. It's the time that they're sitting at a fire, at an EMS call, running. It's that time. And this company has the ability to break all that information down and come back to us. He said it may come back to you, and they take a 25% fee only if we get money back. So the first step is they're going to look at it and they're going to come back to us and say, we think we can get $2,000 back for you. Our fee would be $500. And then we say yay or nay.
Oh, yeah. It's
Um,
just like trying to get the $20.
Right.
for license plate.
And it's, you know, it would be found money for us. So paying the 500 off of 2,000, it would be, now if they come back and say it's only going to be $800, then it might not be worth them to do it. It's really probably, it would still be worth it to us, but it may not be worth it to them. So it does have to be a mutually beneficial. But I told them I could not sign this without the verbal consent from you all to move forward with just the first phase, and that's just basically the discovery.
Just doing an analysis.
Yeah, I've already downloaded all of our gas bills and saved them. So all I have to do is forward to them in an email, and they'll take some time looking at it.
Is that just diesel? Everything I heard was.
Gasoline and diesel.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really interesting. You know, sure, we could probably do it ourselves. But no, he said there is another, if we would determine that we are paying federal excise tax, they can go back 3 years and help us, but I'm almost positive we're not paying federal excise tax.
Did he share with you who else does this?
No, I've never heard of this. In fact, I invited him to speak at the November Township Association meeting, because that's the meeting that we gear towards the fiscal officers.
Mhm.
And he said, well, tell you what, if it comes back and maybe you guys are on the bubble where it's not worth it, maybe we'll just go ahead and do it. I said, no, I don't want this to be part of that. I would like you to have an opportunity to speak to the other 12 townships.
Mhm.
Because they said, you know, they do operate in Hamilton County, Claremont County, Montgomery County. Their company is based out of Springfield. They have a lot of clients around us, but none in Butler. So I thought, why not? Could be found money.
Because you get 10% of everything they collect from the other people.
No,
So if they're in Ohio, does ODOT use them?
I don't know. Engineer's office?
Talk about somebody that would save money
Absolutely.
and probably be able to tell us, yeah, it's worth it to us.
I was trying to jot down
So
who he said, but it was a fast conversation. But I thought it might be worth looking at. I mean, it may not come up to anything. It may be like, I can't really help you out, but
I'm okay for discovery.
Right.
But
we'll know more.
I'd like to know who else is doing it. Just like
I did go to their website and tried to look, and they were not listing their clients. He said they use a lot of school districts, I guess a lot of buses, because they do a lot of idling. But police does not, the police cruisers do not apply. So
They're out too much.
This would be predominantly road and fire. So saving money where we can.
Go ahead.
All right, so I'm okay to move
Yeah.
forward to phase
Okay.
one.
I'd say discovery.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
Thank you. Anything else from the board? Moving on, public participation. Individuals who wish to address the board must speak from the podium, state their name, address for the record. Points should be made clearly and concisely within the 5-minute limit period. One person's time may not be yielded to another. Comments should be directed to the board with courtesy and respect. Any responses from the board will be delivered at the same time. Anybody?
Didn't have any slips turned in. Anyone?
What?
You go to the podium, just state your name and address. That would be great.
No, I bought a little lot over here on Bell Vista. Last lot on that street. They don't have no sewer and water. I gotta drill a well and put a leak line stuff in. I just wanna know if there's any trouble with that and if there's any restrictions on what kind of house I'd have to build.
First, can we get your name, sir?
Earl Winstead,
Instead.
Winsted.
Did they give you
You-
did they give you an address yet, Mr. Winstead?
I haven't took the plans up there to him yet, but the address on the lot plan is 2245.
Bella Vista?
3240?
2245.
We don't have our own zoning or planning, so it would all be through the county. They're going to be your best resource on what you have to do, what you can do, what your restrictions are.
Yeah. And I've got the plan drawn, I've had the survey for the septic and all that stuff too. And I don't know nothing about for anything on drilling the well or anything like that.
Yeah, they'll help you with, step by step through all that.
Okay. And I got one more.
Okay.
Have you heard anything on the news about this Fernall, going on around here that's where it had the, field stuff, where they was, been a few years back, where they sent everybody out to check, that it was in a 3-mile radius.
Okay.
There's been something on the news, or a friend of mine caught it. I haven't heard it yet, but it's been on the news. And it's, Ross Township has been mentioned on it. It's down in, I guess, Hamilton County somewhere. And it's supposed to be something going on. It's around here for the Fernall.
I haven't heard anything in a long time about that.
Yeah. He just heard it last week.
Does he know what, you could maybe follow up with the news station if you know what news he was watching? The reporter might be able to give you more information. I haven't heard anything about that in decades.
It's been a while.
I just wondered, I thought maybe y'all might have heard something. Or,
Not recent. This is the number of the Butler County Zoning Department.
okay,
And that's who you'll want to start with.
all righty. Okay. Yeah, that'd help me out a lot.
On Bell Vista, you don't have any sewer?
No, there's no sewer, and no water.
Cincinnati came through some years ago back around.
Well, I got it about 800 foot down the road. We're on Lark Street. It goes down all the way down Lark, 126 down there. Now Birdland has got water and
They went
sewer.
through there.
Yeah.
Water as well as sewer.
Yeah. Bell Vista, now I don't know if, Birds and all of them has got it or not.
I don't remember.
I thought, well,
Depends what day.
I
No, doesn't hurt to ask.
go back to old school, I reckon.
My in-laws lived on Bella Vista, 2310. I can't remember if they, a while back, had the option to opt in for sewer or not. I know they had septic.
Well, they got a protection out to put, water down through there
Mhm.
and the sewer, but ain't nobody heard nothing yet. I don't know if that has to come through here.
Or zoning is down to Butler.
Or I gotta go
If
down.
when sewer's down Bell Vista, the pipe, because it's gonna be uphill service, so we'll have to put a pump.
What for the,
To get it up to the sewer system up there in Crestline.
oh, okay. I'll just go ahead and put a septic in then. I mean, everybody's got them down there. They been there for years, so they ain't, ain't bothered nobody or nothing. So it's something else you don't have to pay for.
Anybody else, since you came in, you wanted?
Public, yeah, sure.
Come to the podium, please. Wouldn't mind giving us your name and address.
Oh, you don't have a
Oh,
microphone?
yeah, but it's still.
want me up here?
Yeah, just
Okay.
because we get you on camera and all pretty and all that.
Hell, if you don't worry, I just broke it.
My name is Nick Glaub at 281 Kirschling Road. Resident since 1963. Been here a long time. My complaint tonight is the US 27 in front of Kendall's Tree Service. I have sent an email to the state, District 8. Did that just so I had kind of a paper trail. Another one of my friends has actually called the state. I understand it's a state highway, but it's a littering problem. Been dry for the last week, but as weather is going to continue to get worse, wet, they drag out all the gravel, the sediment out on 27. And a simple sweeping would suffice, but it is that's a road hazard. You got big bowls right there.
At the hospital.
Right, you got the medical center, you have the big bowls, a lot of traffic coming in and out, a lot of motorcycles. I ride a motorcycle. And very aware of it, but stopping ingress and egress both is a problem there. So I don't know if, our police department, I used to be a policeman, so I know we can issue citations for littering. And I would suggest that we do, because they've been told until somebody makes a formal complaint. And I am. So just like to see something done. State of Ohio doesn't seem to be interested.
What did they say to you? What did this?
They didn't. They have not responded to my email. One of the other residents lives down here, Greater Court. He called them a few days before me. He said they were very attentive. They took all the information down and all that stuff, but it's been 10 days ago. Had plenty of time. It just worked also in the construction business myself as a superintendent, and I had every municipality. I have violated every municipality in the city of Cincinnati and the surrounding communities. Trucks would drag out asphalt, things of that nature, and kind of threatened with summonses. But all you have to do is just take a power broom, has equipment, this needs to be done. But that way it puts the state people on notice a little bit if we have an accident out there.
Leave me your phone number. I won't ask for it here, but leave me your phone number. I'll check into it.
I'll see your point, because when I built my first house on Brown Farm and I got my building permit, the street wasn't even there yet. Bill Foster, the county engineer, told me if I get any mud out there on 126, he shut me down. And
I mean,
it's like you said, it's horrible. It's 100 feet long.
And it's going to get worse here when we get into the fall. Make you all aware of it.
Thank you.
Someone else had that, just so that you know. Someone else complained about that. So now I have two.
Mention his name, but
If you can write your name down. I don't know that I'll get an answer tomorrow or not. I don't hear your name.
I got one more question to ask you. Down there on Lark, down there by Thrush, all them cars and stuff, it's parked there on the street. They got them on both sides. Then you got on Robin, I think it is, right there on the corner of Robin and Larch. That boy's got so much junk in there, it looks like a junkyard. There's 2 or 3 other places that parking the cars right there on the edge of the street. I mean, you know,
Can you give our administrator an address where those are? You don't have to do it tonight, but maybe call her and give her an address, because we can work on
Is
that.
that the one with the dolls on top of the house and everything else they got?
I think so. Well, one of them,
Should be
You-
easy to
one
find.
of them's,
We've been looking at that for.
If you'll get, she can give you the number and extension
Okay.
and get the address, and she knows.
that's one that,
Address junk motor vehicles that meet 3 criteria, and they have to meet all 3 criteria. They have to be 3 years older. They have to be apparently inoperable, and they have to be extensively damaged. They have to meet all 3 criteria. And then the board can act on them, the junk motor vehicle.
I know, they ain't that far off the street.
So it-
Went by the other
So
day.
your complaint is where they're parked,
They're
not-
parked right there on the
not the
street.
condition of the vehicles.
No, the conditions, you know, they don't look that bad. They've been there for about 3 years that I know of, because I live in Lark and Ren, corner of Lark and Ren. Right down there on the corner, the next stop sign, light down there. On the left, that's where Roy and them live down there, next to boy's name. He got campers, boats, lawnmowers, and junk. All out in his yard. And I mean, it just looks nasty. And then there's another one up there on Canary, I think it is. It's kind of looks bad. Down there for them apartments. And there's another place too, but I can't think of where it's at. I've talked to some of the officers and stuff about it. They got an idea what's going on, but they never seen anything been done about it. So,
If we get the addresses, we'll look at it. If there's something we can do, we will.
okay,
Okay.
I'll see if I can't get this.
Is it
Get it.
closing action? There be no further discussion, come forward, move adoption motion 25-098, adjournment of the work session. Second. Discussion?
Trustee McGurran,
Yes?
trustee Young.
Yes, sir. Our next meeting is September the 4th, 2025, 6 p.m. Here in the building, and we'll have new curfew.
And we'll make you put your
Anybody want
boots
the old
outside.